Okay, stand by for the broadcast. Today is Saturday, September 15th, 2018. Please give me an audio check. Get ready for the emergency broadcast system, the Forbidden History series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. This is take two. Let me know how take two is doing, please. Special thanks to youtube.com for hosting the Forbidden History series. We now interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this very important deprogramming program. And thank you, Yalove. Okay, you got an audio check there. Thank you. Little technical problem this morning. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here reserved to be construed as medical or legal advice, nor hate speech. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and a special on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. And stand by for the broadcast. You did tell your friends? Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, in the heart of Amish country and Free America Radio Network, in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History series, the great lies of history, the piracy of words, the words that kill, the words that they killed, symbolism, the duality revealed in patterns and pictures in nature, the ABCs of light, and a whole lot more, ladies and gentlemen. Book review coming up, and what they didn't want you to know, of course. Good morning, Ninja. Great to have you. And let's see, I don't know if Lynn got back yet, but I hope she's got it together, because we are the deprogramming program, and we're back at it. We've had to take the week off to take care of our business, but we are here, ladies and gentlemen, because it is the battle for the mind. The light is truth, but ignorance, it is darkness. And these haven't always been the great antagonists, the one against the other. The one that you feed is the one that will win. For all the things that great civilizations can create, there is only one thing that they cannot create, and that is the light, ladies and gentlemen. They are of the darkness, no matter how they spin it. And once we can begin to comprehend the true nature of things as they really are, then we can begin to comprehend that there is nothing more to complain about. What it is what it is, as they say. Or what it is may be what it isn't. And you don't know what you don't know until you listen in. So there you go. The best way to identify the truth, remember, is to identify the great lies of history, and that's what we do right here. And the bigger the lie, the more people we are inclined to they're inclined to follow. You know, they just love the big lie. And by the way, I just want to thank everybody out there that's tuned in to this broadcast now and down the road here. Thank you for supporting Duck. Okay, Deplorable Duck. He was in a tight fix, and he's had a miracle. People have come through to support him, and we're very grateful for the reaching out that other people have done, the contributions. Okay, so we tried to help, but he got some responses that we couldn't have imagined. He had a miracle. Basically, he'll be in his apartment. He's going to stay there, and Deplorable Duck. That's his channel. You can check him out. And don't forget, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there. It's with definiteness of purpose, ladies and gentlemen, definiteness of purpose that we get there. And in the beginning is the Word, and the Word is Shavor. That is the royal center. That is the Savior. That is the original for Word. Okay, and it is a whole lot more. The shower, the latter rain. Okay, I guess you're talking to Yah there, Ninja. Okay, and so and don't forget, it takes a million lies to cover that first lie. And interesting stuff happening in our world, ladies and gentlemen. Is it not true? And I'm your host, Desert Owl. Glad you're tuned in. Bird who sees in the night. I see too much. I'd love to forget. You know, love to go to sleep and not wake up. That would be so pleasant, I'm sure, because reality. I mean, the dreams. I love the dream state is far more real for me than the reality we have to face every day, which is so sickening, the way people treat other people. And so a little bit of a news, you know, I got a clip. I just saw a clip of a newsman pretending he's in the strongest winds you ever wanted to see. He could barely stand up. And then there's some people walking behind him around the corner down the street, just having a casual walk while this guy's pretending he's in 150-mile-an-hour winds. Oh, what an acting job. I'll have to, okay. You want to see it? Let me just bring it on. That would be, that'd be great. Here, let me see if I can do this. I got to get the clip first. Hang on. What am I doing here? I can't get the clip first. Okay, I'll get the clip. All right, I'm gonna have to go dark. Hang on. This will be a first. I don't think I've done a video before, so hang on. Boom, and then here we go. Watch this. We'll go full screen. He's acting real hard. Well, I want you to see. Yeah, okay, I can do that. No, I want you to get. It's Illusion is Over. I want to give credit to Illusion is Over, and that's the place to go check out his channel for this. Okay, so watch this guy toughing it out in the wind. I'm going to back up because I know he was really, really hard at it over here. Let me. Yeah, here we go. See, he barely can stand up. Watch this.
Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands. This is about as nasty as it's been. We had some bands like this last night, and then the eye wall this morning, we were not on TV. It was the dark and raucous.
Is that amazing, ladies and gentlemen? Is that not amazing? They even have to lie about the wind. They even have to lie. They're so dedicated to lying that. And you saw it already, Yalla, right? That they even have to lie about how windy it is. You know, like can't say, well, it's over now, and you know, boy, that was pretty rough, and yeah, we can stand up straight now. No, he's got to put on the act. Put on the act. So the old axiom fits, like in this one with the mothership, this mothership. You know, you know, they don't care what the answers are as long as you're asking the wrong questions. Okay, and so just this morning I saw this picture of the mothership. Let me do another one. Hang on, I want to close that out again, and let me turn the desktop on first this time. That way I don't lose pictures so often. Now here we go. There, boom, and okay, here you go. Amazing UFO. This is from section 51 2.0. amazing UFO mothership filmed from airplane over China. Okay, September 8, 2018. So just within the last couple days, there we go. Okay, the mothership right over China. And now, what's the question? What's the right question here? The right question is, if this is really a mothership, then how come there are no military jets in the air flying around it, getting ready to attack it? Because, it's obviously from some foreign galaxy where, they must be here. They're obviously invading our airspace. What do they normally do when you invade airspace? They bring out their jet rockets, and they, and they say, okay, you're trespassing here, get out. But no, do you see any military? No, we got a commercial airline just flying by, and yet we've got no military. No military. That thing would be surrounded by military, right? So don't ask the right questions, okay? And just think it's real, because it's nothing other than a hologram in the sky. They have perfected holograms, ladies and gentlemen, a long time ago. And that's why all the aluminum is in the air, because the aluminum is required to help build a picture, okay? So just don't ask the right questions, and they don't care. But the obvious question is, if we've got a foreign ship, coming in, then that this would be surrounded by military. They'd probably be shooting it down already, But no, it's part of the grand delusion that they want you to think, They want you to think that, look at, the mothership, we're being invaded. But wait a minute. If you can see it from a commercial airline, how come, where's the military? They're not interested. They don't want to look at it. They don't even want to say hello. They sent out Voyager, to go find ET, and then ET is supposedly coming right in the backyard, right, just 1,000 feet above the city in China, and there's nobody going to say hello. Good morning, Mew Mew. Good to have you. And so don't ask the right questions. That's what they're counting on. But ask the right question. Where's the military? There was one just a few days ago, another mothership in over Japan, and somebody else filmed it from an airline. Where were the military? Where was the, you know what I'm saying? So all we got to do is put two and two together and know that that is the military operation. That's that is the World Federation, the greatest show on earth. What Werner von Braun, V2 rocket designer from Nazi Germany, mass murderer, became a family man and decided he didn't want to be a mass murderer anymore. And he, on his deathbed, gives a confession that the last ace card they're going to play is the alien invasion. And they'll have to do that, ladies and gentlemen, because why? Well, they'll have to do it because what's coming in? What is coming in, ladies and gentlemen, huh? What is coming in? What is coming in? Well, is I guess the very reason they've just closed down about a half a dozen or a dozen solar observatories around the world, right? And so once this stuff gets so close, that's when they're going to break out all their UFO phenomena, you see, because it's going to be total chaos. They don't want us just looking at the sky. This is when they're going to have the party. This is when they're going to use that Project Blue Beam to through the guise of motherships or anti-gravity Vimanas, and they're going to burn up every community. They're going to burn every house. There'll be nothing left but FEMA camps. Could happen, most likely. These people, after you've been studying them a long time, don't get too hard to predict. And good morning, Shelley. Great to have you with us this morning. You're not working finally. All right. So they close all the solar observatories. So clearly, something must be really getting close. Must be really getting close to us. So don't forget to get some hot dogs and marshmallows, because it's going to be quite a show, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to witness it. Okay, we are going to witness it, and it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad for the little ones. I think most of the adults deserve everything they get. They're so stupid, but the little ones, the innocent little boys and girls, they don't deserve what's coming. And they're going to round up all the children and take them to their little underground party next, probably. because they can brainwash them. They can easily mind control them. But people like us, of course, we won't fit in. So they'll have a place, for you and I. They're coming for me, but they're coming for you too. Don't forget that. And good morning, Virgo. Great to have you. And hope everything is doing well. Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you. You've been sky watching. You were streaming. I was following your sky watching channel before I could figure this stuff out, how to get back on the broadcast. But great to have. So you probably know everybody here. Most everybody here is a sky watcher. And but what I want to do before we, I want to do some words that kill. I've been off all week, and I've collected a bunch of thoughts and cards. And so I want to. All right, call in, Ninja. You can talk about this, sure. And then I'm going to do some words that kill after I do our non-commodity read real quick, our short read in the star message of Tolma and also the star message of truth. But it looks like we're going to get a call from Australia first, so stand by for Ninja Cat. And well, while we're waiting for her, let me just go ahead and maybe we can get a readout. She's probably got to dial 30 numbers in order to get up here. So okay, and want to welcome any new listeners to the broadcast. We will have a read with Ya Love at our halftime break, and she will you might help me rest my voice, and we'll be able to continue on here. There's so much to cover, ladies and gentlemen, and I just decided I can't do my evening or my late afternoon broadcast because I just can't get the rhythm. I was trying to get to it all week, and I just love doing it in the morning when I'm fresh and I've got the fresh start of the day, and I love doing my scriptures at the first part of the day as well. So look, we got Ninja here. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, Ninja. How are you doing?
Good evening, Bennett. Good. How are you?
Well, I'm back at it, and I'm glad for that because I need this broadcast for myself as much as I do to want to help other people out with the important information that we all need to hear. So what's your scoop here?
Firstly, I agree with every single word you just said. You said it very well. And I just wanted to add to it. I agree. I think it's going to happen very, very soon. I've been trying to take a week off from YouTube, like uploading videos, and all I could do today was record. I couldn't stop recording. From 7:30 this morning, right up until sunset, my sky was absolutely crazy. It was the weirdest sky I have ever seen. Constantly changing. And this morning there was symbols appearing in my sky right before my eyes. They were in lines, like they were sentences, and they were definite symbols. They would form and then they would disappear. And I noticed they were all over the sky. And there was S's and X's and spirals, and they all looked deliberate. They would form right before my eyes and then disappear everywhere I looked.
Yeah.
And I just had to say that because I've seen some crazy stuff, but nothing like I saw today.
And you weren't able to get it on film?
I filmed a lot of it. I can't upload until next Tuesday because my phone is, anyway.
Okay.
I won't get started on my phone.
It's on the fritz. Okay.
I did put one up tonight, but I think they're messing with me because they kept making it private every time I uploaded. I had to upload it a couple of times, and every time I went and checked, they'd made it private. They flipped it back to private. So there's one up there. I did it tonight, put it up tonight. So nobody's probably getting notified about it, I'd say.
Yeah. Good morning, Martha. Good to have you. And so the symbols, they were one at a time. One appeared, then another one appeared. It was always one at a time. Is that how it happened?
It was crazy. There were all over the sky, like single ones, And over near where the sun was rising, to the right, to the left of it, sorry, was the craziest part of the sky. There was so much weirdness happening, and you know the cloud that hugs the sun. It's really obvious at sunset. The one that hugs the sun, goes under it, the curve. That was there, and it was kind of under that. It was like somebody was writing the symbols in a sentence along underneath the cloud, like along underneath the cloud, and then they would disappear. And yeah, it was nuts.
Okay.
Absolutely nuts. I've never seen anything like it.
Right. Well, okay. So just, yeah, that would be the important stuff to get on film. So you at least got a little bit, you say. We'll see it soon?
Yeah. I've got bits and pieces. I had to keep emptying my phone and then recording and then emptying, and yeah. And they covered things up really fast. Like every time I'd find a weird piece of sky, as soon as I started filming, they'd work on covering it up. So yeah, but I did get some stuff. There's a video up on my channel that I uploaded about an hour and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say my bell's not working.
Right, but you didn't report this one to the controllers, I guess, right?
I was waiting for you to say that. No, I kept my mouth shut, does it?
No more calling the authorities. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would. The white van with the men in white coats would be here if I did that.
Yeah.
They'd be at my door.
Bubba and his dog coming for you. So okay, well that's amazing. Story to hear, and it's just going to keep getting more intense. So everybody really needs to have their cameras handy and just ready to shoot.
It.
What?
Sorry to interrupt, but there's one more thing. I also got a lot of night sky stuff this week. Anyone out there, if you want to catch weirdness, aim your camera northwest, north or northeast at night. I've been catching it anywhere between 8 o'clock and say midnight at night. Same area, same anomalies. If you film the moon, when you play it back, keep an eye out for. I've already put this up on my channel as well. About a week ago, I think. Keep an eye out for a tiny white disc, just a flash for 1 second. It's happened every time I've filmed moon in the last week. And take still pictures and then zoom in. My camera on my phone is not that great for night sky. I've only ever been able to get the larger objects, and at the moment it's catching everything. Take random shots anywhere north, and then zoom in, and you'll see what's in the sky. It's filled. There's red orbs everywhere. There's blue ones, and there's green ones, and there's yucky yellowy ones. They're all over the sky. That part of the sky especially.
Yeah.
I've caught them in every shot, every still shot. Yeah, it's crazy up there right now. They're really working it. I think the orbs are related to blue beam, but I can't. It's just a theory. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then good morning to Hans. Good morning, Hans. And so are you saying you're seeing these at night or in the daytime?
What I was just explaining is at night.
Okay.
Northwest, north, and northeast. Just point and shoot, and you'll catch something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your impression are these are the planets that are coming in?
No, I think because there's too many of them, and they're just like the flashy coloured orbs like that you see in the clouds through the day. I think that's what they are. I think they're related to blue beam, like controlling the plasma screen up there.
Okay.
I'm not. I can't. Like, that's just my theory. I can't.
Right. We'll just have to stay tuned, and maybe we'll know down the road. Yeah. Just be open is important. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
I can't hear you very well.
You can't hear me very well?
I can hear you now.
All right. Very good. So is that it or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted an update.
No, that was a profound report. No, that was good. I'm glad you shared that with us. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy days.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's just amazing where we're going. You know, we're the only safe place to be is in our Redeemer, because there's the true sovereignty, and if we're right with Him, then He has purpose for us to help lead other people out, to give them hope as well. So just stand strong, Ninja. Okay, and thank you for your report. All right.
No worries.
Nope.
Thank you for letting me share.
No worries. That's the maxim of those down under. Do they mean no worries when they say no worries? That's the question, I guess, right?
No worries, mate. I only say it when I mean it, does it?
Right.
No worries.
There you go. All right. Well, she lives up to her slogan. So, Ninja Cat, we'll see you on the chat. All right, and be well.
Yep.
All righty.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. And so Hans, I remember last broadcast, or the one before the last, you had mentioned that you know how to knock out 5G radiation, or G5, or however they call it. So would you be willing to call in sometime on Skype and or by phone? You know, I've got Skype and phone. I thought it would be great for you to share what you know with all of our friends here. Okay, we all want to know how to to knock out the G5. So if you can share that with us at any point today or in the future, if you want to get with me on the side first, you know, please do, because you apparently have figured something out, and it's obviously would be health related and life saving at the same time. Okay. Oh, very good. Do you want to call in now? Do you have Skype? Do you have Skype? Or can you use the phone? Or just whenever you're good. Okay, you just let me know when you're good. All right, or call me on the side. Either way. So so very good. We're getting an interesting report. There's stuff happening in the sky, and it's going to get okay. So Hans, this is a great idea. Sure, we can find time to do this. Okay, so yeah, like I say, you're welcome to call me and just touch base real quick, Hans. But then you know. Can't right now. Gotcha. Okay, very good. Thank you. So we're in the Nog. Orgon and Orgonite help wipe it out. Oh, okay. A little tip there from Shelley. Okay, I got some more to learn here myself. All right, so we're in the Star Message of Tolma, aka the Gospel of Thomas, in number 18, and the Truth Seekers breathe to Yeshua, tell us how our end will be. And Yeshua breathed, have you discovered the beginning then, so that you are seeking the end? For where the beginning is, the end will be. Baruchet, born of the endowment and enlightenment, is the one, and born of the endowment and the enlightenment, with a mind's eye foreseeing in the night, is one who stands at the beginning. That one will know the end and will not taste death. Okay, and so that is a definite what do you want to say, a mystery parable. But hang on a second. So to find the beginning is the clue. Well, the works, it said the works were finished from the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. And even when we see Abel, right, he is the second born. But yet AB comes before C, and it implies, therefore, Abel represented the peace, the shalom. Okay, and that's why Abel, he was under the tree, chewing on a blade of grass, playing his flute, and watching the sheep graze. And so it's looking for the beginning. Okay, Yeshua, who came at the end, is the first. He came at the end 2,000 years ago. He said it is finished. And also in Hebrews 9:26 says it was the end of the world. Okay, meaning the end of an age, of course, not the physical, but the world as they knew it. And the occult lost all their occult power at that time, and that's why they want to put the head of John the Baptist back on. So anyway, so you need to, I'm going to read it one more time so that it has a place within you. And the truth seekers breathed to Yeshua, tell us how our end will be. And Yeshua breathed, have you discovered the beginning then, so that you are seeking the end? For wherever the beginning is, the end will be as well. And so that's why we have to die to this world, right? We have to die to the world so we can live. The greatest challenge mankind ever faces, to die to this world. Barucheth, born of the endowment and the enlightenment with a mind's eye for seeing in the night, is the one who stands at the beginning. That one will know the end and will not taste death. That's a beautiful statement, not tasting death and finding a life in a day without end. Absolutely. That's what the race is all about. So we're in the Star Message of Truth, and this one is titled Do the Father's Will. As we've been reading this, the Star Message of Truth, or the Gospel of Truth, I think you've picked up on the fact that this is very deep, and it speaks truth, and it is not a part of any lie. And the only lie is that that has been waged upon the Nag Hammadi so that you would never read it. They've created disinformation about Nag Hammadi, So do the Father's will. Steady the feet of those who stumble, and extend your hand to the sick. Feed the hungry and give rest to the weary. Awaken those who wish to rise up, and awake those who sleep. For you embody virtuous comprehension. For you embody vigorous comprehension. If what is strong acts like this, it becomes even stronger. Focus your attention upon yourselves. Remember, that was the old maxim, study yourself. Focus your attention upon yourselves. Do not focus your attention upon other things. You hear that? Not upon those things that are all the diversions. That is what you have cast away from yourselves. Let it go. Do not return to eat what you have vomited. Do not be moth-eaten. Do not be worm-eaten or eaten by that serpent. For you have already gotten rid of that serpent. Do not be a place for the adversary, for you have already destroyed him. Prime adversary is self, and the selfishness we see in all others. Do not strengthen what stands in your way, what is collapsing already, to support it. Okay, do not strengthen what stands in your way, what is already collapsing, to then support it. One who is lawless is nothing. Freemasons, treat the lawless one more harshly than the just one, for the lawless does what he does because he is lawless, but the just does what he does with people because he is perfect in the light of the pure shelter. Do the great Father's will, for you are from him. You are from him, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful truth right here in the Nag Hammadi. Okay, that's what it's what they didn't want you to know. And I've been reading this for about 35 years at least, give or take. And we've been denied so many beautiful writings, ladies and gentlemen. I can't get over it. And now a little bit on symbolism. And don't forget, we've got a read from the Acts of Thomas, the Acts of Thomas that we've been on. I think we're number 5 today. And it's a real adventure where he went to India. So on our reading symbols, we're on multiplicity. I've got 3 of them here, at least. They're all short. Multiplicity, intensification of a quality, such as multiplicity of heads or hands in iconography. It also represents dispersion in manifestation, the circumference of the circle, the round of existence, as opposed to the unity or oneness of the central point. Muses, the 9 aspects of the feminine power of the goddess. So that's muses, the 9 aspects of the feminine power of the goddess. That's from pagan mythology. So there may be an underlying true story there or about nature, but we're maybe not getting it. The 9 aspects of the feminine power of the goddess. That could be referring to Planet 9. Actually, it's very possible. The feminine power, meaning the planets. The planets would be regarded as the feminine power because they're all Elohim. They're all Elohim. Okay, and so music, right? Sacred music is symbolic of nature in her transitory and ever-changing aspect. It is the relative, but contains an underlying reality, the absolute. The music of the spheres signifies the harmony of the spheres of life. So there's our spheres again, okay? The music of the spheres signifies the harmony of the spheres. So that would be the planets again in the solar system, or specifically sun, earth, and moon. Okay, but the music of the spheres signifies the harmony of the spheres and of life. So what would be the music then as evidenced? It would be all of creation, right? That's a symphony, that's a harmony, and it's a production of the voice of the great one who said, let there be light. And then there was light, and all things came out from the light. Musical instruments denote felicity. Some pipe instruments are phallic, and many of the stringed instruments represent the female form. Obviously, like the guitar has that definite form of the woman, but so like the guitar, the G is the symbol of the sun, so guitar literally means the power of the sun. The guitar, the Gitor, okay? But like if it's mandolin, that little instrument that has a beautiful soft sound, that's the mandolin, the moon delin, the light of the moon. And the violin, that sweet sound, the violet light, violin. Lin is light. So even in the name of these instruments, the original meaning has been lost. And good morning, Ash. Good to have you. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. I know our world's getting tougher as the days go by, and a lot of people are struggling with our reality, which is not a pleasant one. But we try to bring the good news here, along with all of the challenging issues that we face as well. And don't forget, if you have a comment or a question, you're welcome to call in. If you're a sky watcher, you got something you saw, or if you got a great live history you want to share, or you know about a word that you're trying to figure out, or that they killed us with, you're welcome to bring it on. 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295. And Skype is Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. Still says in Kingsland, Georgia, though I am in Millersburg, Ohio. And so continuing, we've just got maybe 1 or 2 more here. Mer is symbolic. Mer was given to Yeshua when he was a little just born. Mer signifies suffering and sorrow. So there's what the mer symbolized. He received the gold, which had been symbol of the sun, and then the myrrh, which is the symbol of suffering and sorrow, and then the frankincense. Off the top of my head, I only know the frankincense could symbolize the prayers. They burn the incense as what they call the sweet savior unto the Lord. So the frankincense could represent our creating light, the prayers. And want to welcome our new listeners jumping on today. Okay. And thanks again to everybody for helping out a deplorable duck. He had a wonderful, a generous offering from a number of the listeners of the broadcast, either from his or ours here, and also how somebody came through in particular that was willing to cover all of his bills and some more than that, you know. So he had a miracle. So shows that our collective power of creating light and prayer and positive action can have results. Again, thank you. Right. So myrtle symbolizes joy, peace, tranquility, happiness, constancy, victory, the feminine principle, the Vesica Pisces. It is the flower of the gods, a magic herb. The myrtle wreath is that of the initiate. From the Chinese tradition, it means fame, success. From the Christian, the Gentiles converted to Christianity. Egyptian, aka the Mitzrayim, love, joy, sacred to Hathor. Greco-Roman, love and marriage, conjugal felicity. Childbirth, sacred to Poseidon, Neptune, as the power of the waters, also to Adonis. That's Adonai, that's India backwards. Aphrodite, Venus. Artemis, Europa. Hebrew, the flower of the tabernacle, marriage. And from the Mandean tradition, used in all rites as part of a priest ritual headdress on the heads of those alphabetized or baptized, on the new babe, on bride and bridegroom and the dying. So that's very symbolic too, on the dying when they're also getting married, huh? So a myrtle ring is used in religious ceremonies. Myrtle is a vital essence and transmits the breath of life, and is symbolic of life germinating and rebirth and life renewed. Geez, I had no idea that the myrtle had such symbolism, and I still don't know what type of plant that is. I'd have to check that out. I'm not a horticulturist or anything like that, although I grew up digging in the garden, but I hated pulling those weeds. All right, and we're in now we're in Gaskell, the Dictionary of All Scriptures and Myths, plowing our way through the effort. I've really missed doing this every day, and I'm back at it now. Okay, I need this every day more, maybe more. I don't know. I don't want to say more than you all, but I just need this, and I've been missing this because this has been my fix. This has been helping to transform me, and when I stop doing it, it feels like death, and it really is in a way, because we have to eat the truth every day. We have to breathe the light. We have to eat the most important shavor, the word, because the food you eat every day, 3 times a day, you eat a meal, but it's not going to give you eternal life. It just keeps you going for another day. But the words of life breathe life in our life. That's the royal center. In the beginning is the word. So I'm here in Washed in the Blood of the Lamb, in the dictionary of all scriptures and myths. Washed in the blood of the Lamb, a symbol of the soul purified through the involved divine life, which rises up from within, restoring and healing the shul, the soul. Okay, and okay, it is the myrtle. Are you saying the myrtle is the resin of a certain tree, y'all love, huh? Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for that. And then just saying, we have crepe myrtle trees in the backyard. Okay, not related to crepe Suzettes, I'm sure, but I don't know what that crepe stands for. And hang on. All right, so continuing now, washed in the blood of the Lamb. And that itself is a powerful symbol, because to be washed in the blood means to be continually purified, made pure. Okay, thank you for that. And so the Mashiach, Christ, the divine sacrifice, the incarnate seed of the Son of God, that's the code word, Son of God is seed of the Son, is latent or potential in the lower nature, the flesh. of every soul, and becomes the savior, the shavor, as he is brought into actual being by the aspirations and efforts of the character, the personalities, those egos who have eventually transcended their lower selves are washed, that is, cleansed from imperfection and become spiritual, so that they inherit life in a day without end, eternal life, as a result of the previous sacrifice of the Mashiach, the Christ, or involution of spirit in matter. The blood of the Mashiach, that is the given life, the sacrificial great breath of the Mashiach, Spirit of Christ, who through the eternal breath, offered himself without blemish unto the perfect. He was the perfect creation. He was the first made all things without blemish, offered himself unto the great Elohim, will cleanse your conscience from dead works to serve the living Yahweh, who is the great Elohim. That's Hebrews 9:14. You notice that the effect of the sacrifice of Mashiach is an effect in the conscience, in the inner nature of blood of the earth, man. The Mashiach must live within us as a great cleansing, sanctifying presence, and as a power of consecration to the service of Yahweh, who is the great Elohim. What are the merits of Yeshua, Jesus? His truth from the tree's root, his victory of light, the viction, the faith, his tenderness, his mercy, his travain love. These must be in us. They are no use anywhere else. They are healing streams from the fountains of the eternal purity to carry life and health to our shuls, our souls, the serpent and the owl. T. Rhonda Williams, Sermon Redemption. Even in Greece itself, though the doctrines of the blood of the great Elohim was utterly perverted, it was not entirely lost, as Servius tells us that the grand purpose of the Bacchic orgies, that's Bacchic for Baccha or Bacchus, the Bacchus orgies, the purpose was the purification of the souls. Really? Okay. That's just like Freemasonry. You know, they say that the more you lust after women, and the more sex you have, then the more transcendence you gain. What a great lie, right? Of course, it's only sacred in marriage, and it has a symbolic nature, but it certainly doesn't create the transcendence. That's of the inner journey, not the external. Where was I at here? As in these orgies, there was regularly, the tearing asunder and shedding the blood of an animal in memory of the shedding of the life's blood of the great divinity commemorated in them. So now we get the picture of why they're sacrificing these children at these orgies, right? That's what it's talking about. They're just recreating what was created a long time ago. All right. See, there is nothing new under the sun. They're having their parties and their orgies, and they sacrifice a little boy or girl at the same time just to make sure they actually think that they achieve some type of higher power, right? The great lie. When all they do is they bring themselves down further into the pits of darkness that they'll never be able to climb out of. Okay, so the life's blood. Let me hear. In memory of the shedding of the life's blood of the great divinity commemorated in them. Could this symbolical shedding of the blood of that divinity have no bearing on the purification from sin? So the baby being innocent, maybe then what it implies is the sacrificing of the innocent, which then would represent the great deity at the same time, because he's innocent, and that which is least is like that which is greatest. That which is greatest is like that which is least. So that could be part of the symbolism of that type of a sacrifice. Think they'd all volunteer to sacrifice themselves, right? You know, hey, let's all draw straws. We you know, but no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't want to sacrifice themselves. So continuing here, could this symbolical shedding of the blood of that divinity have no bearing on the purification from sin, having your eyes closed? These mystic rites were intended to affect, or from these mystic rites they were intended to affect. We have seen that the suffering of the Babylonian Zoroaster and the Bilus were expressly represented as voluntary, as they submitted to for the benefit of the world, and that in connection with the crushing of the great serpent's head. There's the self. Yeah, no, I don't see anybody volunteering, so they had to choose the innocent. If the Grecian Bacchus was just another form of the Babylonian divinity, then his sufferings and bloodshedding must have been represented as having been undergone for the same purpose, vis-a-vis for the purification of the souls. A. Hislop, Alexander Hislop, The Two Babylons. Yeah, that's a powerful read. Get it while it's still out there, and yeah, that book is a treasure. Okay, I've read that a couple times now. See Atonement, and it was one that really opened my mind back 35 years ago or more. I was in my 20s. See Atonement, blood of Lamb, crucifixion of Christ, Dionysius, incarnation, Lamb of God, mediator, Passover, personality, sacrament, sacrificer, Soma juice, Taurobolim, Taurobolim. There you go, Taurobolim, and transubstantiation. And a short one here, wasting disease and putrefacients, symbolic of the lowest aspects of the soul's nature, lower nature, passing into dissolution and dissipation. So the wasting diseases and putrefacients, symbolic of the lower aspects of the soul's lower desires, passing into dissolution and dissipation. And next time we come into the W's, we'll be underwater, okay, and hopefully we'll be able to swim. And there you go. We're just going to take a quick musical interlude, ladies and gentlemen, and to regroup, and I'll be right back. Don't you dare go away. Just time to call a friend. After all, you wanted to know, didn't you? And coming up, we're now going to do the Piracy of Words. And don't forget, if you want to get a copy of the Real Da Vinci Code, Etymological Dictionary. And good morning, Liz from Dublin. Good to have you. And or the Book of Wisdom, or the original Gospel. The original Gospel, which has the original thought in it, plus an original thought dictionary, 100 pages in the same document. Okay, just any size donation. Okay, you can get a copy. Go to therealpublicradio.net, therealpublicradio.net, and there's a PayPal button there. And if you don't have that funny money, then just let me know, and I'll be glad to get you a copy of any one of those books. Just let me know. If you call in, you definitely get a copy. First time caller, we'll take a. Be glad to get you one. All right, we'll do anything to get a caller here. All right. So. And also, you know, we have the Master Force Group, a way you can support the translation project. You can go to healthwalk.basicreset, healthwalk.com. That's healthwalk.basicreset.com. And free to join, and you can have your own online health food store for no money. Okay, and you can share it on your channel, and then people will support you, and you'll still be supporting the broadcast at the same time, because it's multi-generational in commissions, and very good upfront commissions as well. And then if you sign up through our broadcast, then we will also give out your website. If you're one of our Master Force group, we will give out your website as well. Okay, so please consider that. It's everybody needs some health nutrition, and they've got some very powerful health nutrition. They've got the ionic mineral solution. It's a miracle product. Even when people had their tomato plants freeze overnight and turn black, they sprayed this stuff on there, and it literally came back to life. So it's good for plants and good for people, and we're all mineral deficient. Okay, so have at it. Okay, and now we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, just a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, hang in there. I get rusty after a week. I can't get over it. On the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Desert Owl, a bird who sees in the night. And I'm just sick of it. You know, I'm sick of this lousy, rotten, stinking world. It was such a beautiful world before man came. All those animals, you know, just eating grass, and well, of course, they had the rough animals too that wanted to eat their flesh. They had it tough too. So it's like that is symbolic. Again, talking about symbolism, these animals preying on each other. You know, it's really interesting, because it's very symbolic. The animal world is symbolic of the natures that are hiding within man. You know, like the reason they couldn't eat, you know, pig, or don't be, you know, or of course the snake is classic. And when I went camping, I ate snake. So I was a snake eater, but it tasted pretty good. As they say, it tastes like chicken. It really does. And hey, Mew Mew, I thought I said hi already, but good to have you. Okay, and Ninja Desert, you're doing fine. It's just good to have you back. Okay, thank you. And Desert, the Rusty Owl. Okay, Sparky. Oh, Sparkly. Okay, I thought you were calling me Sparky, Ash. All right. Well, yeah, it's great to hang out with wonderful people. We really are in a fix, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the planet. We do exist, and we are here, and we have to come to the knowledge of the truth and be set free, because we ultimately will face, or as the maxim says, that which has a beginning has an end. But the beginning is our existence in the flesh, in this matrix, because our spirit comes from the one who made all things, and so our spirit is eternal. And so once that's been turned on, it can't be turned off, and it's just a matter of where we're going. And I'm tired of being on the merry-go-round. Okay, so I want to transcend this world on the inner journey, and we do it through the great mystery of interpretation of symbol and symbol. The words are based upon symbols. What's in a word? Everything's in a word. But the pirates took over the words. They wanted to kill us, and they've done a pretty good job at it. You know, in the beginning is the word, the shavor. It's the DNA of life, and words are God in the sense that, you know, like in the King James, in the beginning is the word, and the word is God. Word is God. Okay, well, that's a pretty powerful statement. Then that's why shavor is the original word, shavor, and it means the royal center. So everything comes out of the word, and that's why I'm able to transliterate, ladies and gentlemen, because it is an exact science that was brought to us by the great Olaf Haim, and so it is a code, and it was based on the Aramaic, the Archai Malik. Archai Malik is more original to Aramaic. Archai, you hear the word archive there from the beginning. The archives, the Malik meaning the royal messenger, The archive of the royal messenger, the SKYPE that's in the word. Okay, and so we have to take note of what those words mean because it's telling us something. It's big. Okay, the SKYPE, and they use the Aramaic in our modern English today. They just corrupted the code, and so there is a way back. Okay, and so I'm here to tell you that words are not what you think, and we need to put our thinking caps on. If the words that you use are incorrect, then what you say is not what you mean. And if what you say is not what you mean, then all science, religion, history, and law will all fall apart and go astray. And all the people will be standing around helpless and idle, looking up at the sky, and then just and saying, what am I here for? Who am I? Why am I here? Whoa. And this is not only important, but it matters above everything else, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So Aramaic, Indo-Germanic mother tongue. It's the very first words of Adam and Eve, Hadam and Keva. It's the original thought. It supersedes the Hebrew and the Greek by 5,000 years. Hebrew and Greek are also Indo-Germanic. So is Latin, so is Portuguese, so is German, so is French. Okay? All Indo-Germanic. I'm not able to comment on the on the Russian, but they didn't have an alphabet, so that alphabet you see, was of course fabricated of late, and it was Ivan the Terrible, I think, who escaped. He figured out he was so terrible, the people wanted to kill him, so he fled to Rome. When he comes back, they start the line of the Romanovs. So where do you think the Romanov royal family, gets their name from, right? Rome, okay? So it's the double-headed eagle. That's why they're a double-headed eagle, because it's the East and the West, and they make them look like bad guys, but there is no bad guy. It's only the greatest show on earth. It's the Cold War. It's the phony war. Terms are torums. They're the original thought. Tor for torque, for twisting. Torum, the sound, twisting the sound. That's what the original for the words. Terms, for the word term. Okay, Liz. And so the word torums literally means the power of sound. Okay? Toro. We transliterate thoughts and precepts, not words. Not words, thoughts, precepts, the idea. That's the only way we can do it. You can't go word for word. That's another lie in translation. Oh yeah, this word is in the ancient is this word in the modern. Give me a break. Okay, that ancient word is impregnated. It's a pericope. Pericope is like periscope. You look into it, and it's like, whoa, and it's just exploding with meaning and symbolism and thought. You could write a sentence or a paragraph on that, on that item. And they're saying word for word, impossible. Absolutely impossible. It's a scam. The greatest intellectual scam in our modern time is the translations of our scriptures, ladies and gentlemen. It is. And that's why you see we go where nobody is going or has gone before to this depth, because it is a miracle to have it unfold, all right? Ignatius, in his letter to the Sumerians, said, I have heard of some who say, unless I can find it written in the originals, I will not believe it to be written in the star message or the gospel. Then when I breathe that this is the way that it has been written, they then respond back with what lays before them in their own corrupted texts. Okay? On the merry-go-round. And so Adam and Eve, there seemed like there was another, I just wanted real quick to, I just found this the other day, reading, did I write the site? Oh yeah, I found it in Philo. In my read, not the one we do together. In fact, I better get Philo up here. Well, I'll have it right here for later on. But, okay, so literally, Pentecost, remember they were told, stay in Jerusalem after Yeshua rose from the dead. He said, stay in Jerusalem, don't go anywhere, hang out together, and he may have told them till the Pentecost, I don't remember. But anyway, the Pentecost is, the 50th day from when he rose from the dead, the 50th day. And it had a name. I know Pentecost is the corruption because it means penta, means the 50th star. We could also call it, because day implies star. Each day is a star. It's a new sun, right? It's a new sun every day. So penta, meaning 5 also, and 50, therefore the 50th day. But literally it is the feast. Get this, because remember, this was the first time that the entire group of people, about 120 of them, in a room together, all the flames of fire came down, the wind blew, came in through the windows, and on top of every one of them there was a clove of fire, symbolizing that their anointed state was now lit upon fire. Then they all began to breathe in tongues, what they call tongues, and maybe some of them it was heavenly, but it implied in this instance that they were all speaking a tongue of the foreign nations that were there in Jerusalem for the festival. And they said, we could hear them speaking in Parthian or Greek, Greca, or in Italian or whatever. And so literally the Pentecost is not the correct word. It is literally, according to Philo, the feast of the first produce. Whoa. The feast of, isn't that interesting? The harvest, the official initiation of the great harvest. And what happened that day? Then it said 3,000 were converted and then came into the fold because they saw the evidence and the great power of these very humble people, fishermen, right? The one who denied him, actually, right? And he's the one now, the great orator, because the great breath was breathed into him, right? He had a transformation. That's what he said. When you were converted, no, he didn't say con. It's not a convert. They were transformed in their being, and that's what we want in receiving the great breath of the wind and fire, ladies and gentlemen, okay? That's the feast of the first produce, the produce of the harvest that the great Yahweh have been waiting for 6 billion years. 6 billion years of preparation since time began. And when he said, let there be light, okay? And it's been a long process. That shows his greatness. That shows his endurance, shows his power, shows his infinite nature. No beginning, no end. Just hanging out, waiting for the moment when we are here. We are here for less than a heartbeat, right? Less than a heartbeat. And they're when I was hitchhiking around America back in the 1970s, and I went to the Grand Canyon, and I got a book from there, and it talked about the timeline in the Grand Canyon, and it said, if you look at the timeline in the canyon a mile deep, all the rock layers are indicative of the age of the Earth, how old it really is. What we see in a mile deep is about 1.5 billion years of age of the Earth. The Earth is about 3 billion years old ever since it came out of the sun. The sun is older, of course. The sun is the mother. But so they made a profound statement in the book on the age of the Earth and what the Grand Canyon reveals. And it said if you put the entire age of the Earth in a 24-hour day, then how long have we been here on that Earth in that 24-hour day, right? In those billions of years. How long have we been here in a 24-hour day if 24 hours represents the timeline of Earth's existence? Well, the answer is we have been here for 1 second. 1 second. All that preparation of our Earth just for that one heartbeat of Yahweh, one heartbeat, it's amazing when you realize the extent that our great Elohim has gone to prepare for our existence, and then just so that he can harvest us, the feast of the first produce, the harvest. The harvest has been going on. There's people that don't even know whether the kingdom of heaven exists or if it's something coming, or that the harvest. What did he say? The harvest is great. 2,000 years ago, and he said the kingdom is at hand. What part of it at hand don't we get? Or even when John in Revelation says, he wrote, these are the things that must shortly come to pass. Shortly. Actually, it's probably an incorrect translation, and is actually, these are the things that have already quickly come to pass. Quickly, because Yeshua was here, boom, bam, bing, and he's gone. And he raised from the dead, and he says, now I'm going up to the throne of the Son, back to where I come from as spirit, and I will be nurturing all of you, providing for all of you. Behold, I am with you always, even unto the end of time, with us always. And there's people waiting for him to come back, waiting for him to come back. And so you can't have it both ways. Either he's here or he's not. And he said, I'm with you always. After he rose from, what better comeback can we have than somebody raising from the dead? There is no better comeback. Come on. You see, they changed times and seasons. That's what they said they would do. So the Feast of the First Produce, another lie. They took it out of our scriptures. That's what should be there in our scriptures instead of Pentecost. It is the Feast of the First Produce. Don't we get a picture when we hear that, right? We get the picture, the first produce for the kingdom of heaven officially. Though people have been flowing in throughout all time that were, not able to, follow the nonsense of people on earth. Transcendence has always been here, but Yeshua did it in a big way so that the world can embrace it and be set free. And it couldn't happen till the end of time. So, okay, the Feast of the First Produce. Thank you, Philo, who is also found in our original gospel when we read. And he'll be coming up in there. And so Adam, okay, this is interesting. This thing about the A, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Adam, and Adam. The A and the O are synonymous. They're twins. So whenever you have an A, you can change it to an O. The O is at the bottom of the A. Remember, the A is the compass. It creates a circle. The compass, the architect's A for architect, A for the compass, and the compass creates a circle, right? And so the circle is at the bottom of the compass of the A. The compass is the projection of light. And then what do we get? The circle, the creation. Okay? And because everything spins, everything goes round, everything is serpent. And so Adam is also Adam. Adam might be actually the more correct because he is the secondary creation after Yeshua. He was made in the image of Yeshua, who is the perfect creation from the beginning. And so Adam literally means, get this, it's two words. A is the eye. Remember, that's the original word for your eye, for looking. It's like the carrot, right? It starts at a point and it keeps going out. The A projects out. And Dom is the prime root for judgment. What do you see on the top of every courthouse? A dome for judgment, because the courthouse is where they judge things. And then the capitals of all the nations, it's the dome, right? And the dome means judgment. It's also a symbol of the round earth. A half dome, the letter D flipped over 90 degrees is the half dome, and it means judgment. Why? Because judgment belongs on the earth. The dome on the capital of each nation is symbolic of the earth. It's saying we are here on the earth. That round dome is a picture of the earth. They're telling you it's round. They want everyone to think it's flat, but it's round. And so Adam means A is the eye and dome is judgment. So literally Adam, by his very title, it means the eye of judgment. But did he not fail? He failed in his judgment because he was enticed by his beautiful counterpart, and he knew that in her was the ability to create duplicates. He could become a creator just like the great Elohim. He was a little ambitious, and therefore he failed in his pure judgment. The eye fell. And so, but Adam means the eye of judgment. So that's what we're here for, right? To make a judgment. We make judgments about things. And everything we do, we make a judgment, right? So that's a powerful, revelation for Adam. Okay? And now we're on the big one. The big one, ladies and gentlemen. I can't get over this. I got to get another 3x5 card and I'll, as I'm talking about it here, because, I finally got it after doing this program since June. And by hearing myself repeat myself over and over, I was seeing things as well. But Mew, it's, Adam, you got it. The D and the T are twins. Well, they're opposites. You see, in other words, the D represents the darkness, and the T represents life, eternal life. the sacrifice, but it comes through the sacrifice of the flesh. And so so there's an AT is the prime root of the alphabet, because the first letter is Aleph and the last letter is the Tau. And so it means what atom means the sounds of creation, and the atom bomb has a pretty good sound behind it, right? The atom, the sounds of creation, and I guess also of destruction, if we want to look at it that way. But the AD, you see the word add, so Adom, meaning add sounds, his title also doesn't mean just the sound of judgment or the eye of judgment, but it literally means the addition of sounds. Adom, A-D-O-M, means the addition of sounds, because Om is the original for sound. And what are the additional of sound? Well, let's have some babies, okay? Because they make a lot of sound, don't they? And they'll have babies. They'll have babies, and we'll have more additions and more sound than we ever could imagine. Think of what a crowd sounds like, right? All coming out of one original parent root, you know? The Aryan, of course, came out of Adam and Keva, Adam and Keva. And the others were here prior. This is part of the great mystery. This is what nobody's correctly stating. And you must see and read it for yourself. This is not about racism. It is about truth, about the purpose of the Aryan race, which came down with all the knowledge from the sun. They were created first, but they came on the scene last. Adam was taken up to the great Adam, and he was there during the whole process of evolutionary creation on Earth. All men, whether they were black men, yellow men, Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, Paracus, or what have you, they were spontaneously generated. They each had their own Adam and Eve. We're not told this story, but this is the case, because only one race came out of Adam and Eve, and that was at the end of the creation of all the other races, and that was the blonde hair, blue-eyed, white skin, to represent the sky gods, the sun gods, those who came down from the sun with the truth of light. They're the ones who created the great civilizations around the world. The pyramid civilizations, the anti-gravity Vimanas. They had telescopes. They melted everything from the sand on the beach to create their great lenses for their telescopes. And you know, so I didn't mean to go there, so I'm going to back out now. Okay, that's a story for another day. And but as far as let me move some of these cards here. I got all this in front of me. And you are tuned in right here to the Real Public Radio. And you know that too, don't you? Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, you've been hearing me tell you about the word Asha, right? And A-S-H-A. And when you ever hear me mention Israel, I always say Asha Re'el. Asha Re'el. Okay? And so then it was becoming clearer then about how the others had the title. I then realized that it was Esau, that was Asha, right? But I'm going to back up, because what happened? Asha was not was of the earth, and therefore Esau represents Israel, right? Because they were of the earth. Their promised land was on the dirt, but there was another promised land which is in the air, which is in the sky, in the mind. Yeah, it's the story we've never been told, Ash. Okay, because all of our knowledge and all of our information has been controlled by priesthoods, and the great lie is about who we really are, in the great mystery. Do we think that they're going to give us a book that just tells it like it is, or did it not say in Revelations that the beast system has deceived the entire world? Well, that's quite a deception. The entire world is deceived. So therefore, it's a miracle that Yeshua reveals, because he is a revealer. And he says that there's nothing unknown that cannot be known. There's nothing in secret that cannot be revealed. That's the great mystery. That's the beauty of the truth. The truth, he's the revealer. He can and he does and he will reveal. So you have to just see and read it for yourself, though. Okay, I'm not going to try to convince anyone. I'm just sharing with you what I know to be absolutely true, correct, complete, not misleading. I only have to prove it to myself. Okay, but now the answer unfolds. You see, the answer unfolds, because I realize now, You see, this all started not with Esau and Yaakov, but it started with Ishmael and Yitzhak, Isaac. Because if you remember just about a week or two ago, I realized I was saying, no, wait a minute, Issa, or Isha, which is synonymous with ISIS, by the way, but Issa and Isha, which in our Old Covenant text means woman. And so even Yeshua in the Septuagint was being as the great Elohim, or the Elohim, as they say it in the corrupted form, Elohim. The great Elohim is the feminine, right? So he looks like the masculine. Yeshua is the male in form, but yet he is feminine by nature, because all creation is feminine. The woman, the mother, is creation. She's the one who brings forth the baby. Okay? And that's why she's smaller in her aspects, because that which is great can't create something greater than itself. So that which creates can only make something smaller than itself. So that's why the Father represents the Spirit, which is the primordial origin, and then the physical matter represents the woman. Okay, so even Yeshua as the great Elohim, or Spirit, is called Issa, because he's the first Adam, the woman. He's the first Adam, female creation, the woman coming forth in the duplication effect, okay? And so out of Abraham, out of Abraham came two seeds, and one is called Ishmael, and one is called Yitzhak, Isaac. But Ishmael, what was the deal, right? Abraham's getting old, his wife is getting old. They're told they're going to have a baby, and finally she's talking to him, right? This isn't his thinking. She's talking to him, saying, "Look, take my slave woman and go in with her and have a baby, because it ain't going to happen with me." Okay, that was Sarah talking, right? And so he figures, well, maybe that's the wisdom of my wife. Maybe that's a good thing to do. So okay, and so we'll have a baby with the slave girl. And by the way, just talking about words, I want to show you, how they lie about everything. Why do they have to lie? Even like about the weather, right? They had to lie about how windy it was, and they get the weatherman pretending he's falling over in 150-mile-an-hour wind, and there's a couple people strolling down the street, right? Just strolling down the street right behind them in the camera. Gotcha, right? So the same thing. If you look up the word Lot, L-O-T, in your Strong's Concordance, you'll find out that his name is not Lot. In the Strong's, it is Lotan, Lotan. Okay? So how come they had to lie and call him Lot when it's Lotan? Is there something in the meaning of the word? I'd have to go back and look, but on the surface, A-N means one, and so it's the true sacrifice of the one. If the T is the symbol of the cross, it means the true sacrifice of the one. What was the sacrifice? That he was willing to drag him out of the fire. He pulled him out, right? And that, boy, they weren't in a hurry to leave, but he pulled him out before the fire came. Yeah, Lotan. Thank you, Mimyo. So I'm pointing out to you, I'm showing you the evidence. Go look up Eve in the Strong's Concordance. It doesn't say Eve. You're going to see C-H-I, Kai. That's the other half of her name, just like Lot. The other part of his name is in there. The same with Eve. It's Keva originally, but they corrupted into Kai. But so I was calling her Kaiva for the longest time. But then I realized the I is a corruption, and it's the A-Y. And Christina, good to have you on the broadcast. That's right. They lied. They got to control us. That's what they do. So we need to be set free. So even Adam, when I looked up Adam, there wasn't, his name wasn't in there. It was Dick. Okay, D-I-C-H. And that's the prime root for dictionary, for diction, for dictate, and also the slang, for the male is implying creation, the obelisk, the lingam, right? It's all there. And so you can prove it to yourself that you're being lied to by going looking up Eve, Adam, and Lot, and just translate the Hebrew into the into the modern English letters. It's easy to do. Okay. And then you'll see, yeah, there they are. They're lying. You know, I've been revealing the lies on here, right? So let's get back to it now. So Ishmael is not Ishmael, because remember I said that Isha, as it sounds, listen to it, Isha is Asha. The I is a corruption. They put in the blind. Remember I told you the letter I is the blind, because that's the Luciferian black sun to put out the light. Okay, so you take out the I, put back the A, and Isha becomes Asha. Okay, Asha. And so being that that's feminine, now let's look at Ishmael. Well, Ish, right there in Ish is Asha. And in Isaac, ISS, almost like Isis, right? But it's the female again. Both of them have the female prefix on their names, Ishmael and Isaac. It's a different slant. You see, the trick is they just use different varieties of spelling, and you never get the picture. Same with Esau. Okay, Esau, is Issa. You can hear it, right? Listen. Esau is Issa, E-S-A-U. And so this is how the game is being played, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm revealing something that is so significant, because then you'll be able to see the story most clearly about how Israel is irrelevant today, and that Israel no longer exists. Israel no longer exists, okay? So Ishmael, get this. Now we have Abraham, and he's told that out of your loins will come a creation. Will come a creation that will be like the stars of heaven, right? Like the stars of heaven. And so he's thinking, man, that's pretty powerful. So, okay. So what's going to come out of him? The woman, right? Because it's creation. And so symbolically, it is feminine by nature, because it is creation. We're not talking about the spirit now. We're talking about the flesh. So what does Asha mean? Asha means the royal eye. Okay. As we were talking about with Adam, right? It was the eye of judgment. The A is the eye. So Shah is royal, like the Shah of Iran. Okay, there we got the primitive right there in our modern, the Shah of Iran. Then they overthrew him and brought in the Ayatollah Khomeini. And so Asha is the original, and so Asha means the royal eye. So if we talk about the royal eye, then it's like also talking about the point, right? This is the point of a massive creation of the tribes of the earth out of Abraham. So naturally, he would give them the most powerful name, which would be the eye of creation, right? Or the royal eye. And it is Asha. So as I said, Isha is Asha. And so Ishmael is Asha. Asha, apostrophe, ma, E-L. I'll tell you what, I'll put it right in there, okay? I'll put it right in the board here. Ishmael equals A-S-H-A apostrophe M-A hyphen E-L. There it is, okay? Ishmael. Let me fix that. Ishmael. Okay, so Ishmael literally means the royal eye of the mother's enlightenment. Why? Because the mother, being Sarah, it sounded like she was enlightened, right? The mother's enlightenment. Oh, you're supposed to have a baby, but I can't do it, so use my slave. So it actually is a reflection on Sarah. Okay, the royal eye, she's royal. The royal eye of the mother's enlightenment. She was enlightened, had a vision. Whoa. And Andrea, good to have you to the broadcast. I don't know if you've been here before. I think I remember seeing your YouTube channel, though. So welcome aboard. And you'll just have to do the replay, okay, to follow where we're at here. So Ishmael is Ishmael. and it's the royal I, Aisha, of the mother, M-A, and the enlightenment, E-L, enlightenment. Okay, so illuminated, A-L, illuminated, okay, enlightenment. And so now let's look at Isaac. So Isaac is which typically had been pronounced Yitzhak, but now I know that I was wrong because it is Ashayak, A-S-H-A apostrophe Y-A-C-H. And I'll put it in the deal again. Here we go. So Isaac, I-S-S-A-C equals A-S-H-A apostrophe Y-A-A-C-H. Okay, there we go. Ashayak. Isaac is Ashayak. Now why? What's going on here? Well, because remember that the firstborn was born of the slave woman. Okay, born of the slave. And therefore, what did it say? That the slave, the one born of the slave, will not have an inheritance in the kingdom. And so he has to have a second son, which is through his true mother, through the true woman. There's a duality then in that female again, like we got the whore and the virgin, right? So the whore is the slave, but the virgin is represented by Sarah. And so he finds out that no, you're not going to have, your seed will not be, through the slave, but it'll be by the promise. By the promise I told you that out of your loins and from your wife, your other half, you will have a nation that will be as the spirit, not of the earth, but as the spirit. And so look at Ashayak. Ashayak is the suffix is dominant. And what is a yak? Well, it's the same word as this. Mosheach. You see? So he's got the power name. Eshamael is of the woman, but Eshayak is Mosheach. The yak means the enlightenment, and the one who's lit on fire, the bull that plows the field of creation. You see, and so Moshe is Mosheel, Moses, okay, and Yak is is this Messiah. There's your Messiah, okay. So literally, Isaac has the prime root, which is the suffix. That's the soul fix, the fix of the light, the fix of the sun. Suffix is the prime title of Mashiach. So the Mashiach is coming through Isaac. But just like Abraham represented the spirit, and so Ashayak represents the flesh, and what happened to him in his old age? He became blind, right? He became blind. And so enter Esau, which is Asha. Why? Because he's going to inherit the name of his father, right? So E-S-A, hold on. Esau is Asha because he's going to receive the title of his father, because he's now, because we have twins, right? And so only one of them is going to have the prime title. But what happens is he was not worthy of the title, right? Because he sold his birthright for a bowl of porridge. And then ultimately, Yaakov, whose name is the seed of light, you can't have a better name than seed of light, is going to come and steal the blessing, all right? So when Yaakov comes back from Lebanon, from Laban's land, and escapes with his wives and his children, then he says, give me a name. Give me a name. Or give me a blessing. Give me a blessing. He's going for a blessing. And so he says, okay, your name will no longer be known as seed of light. It will be known as A-S-H-A R-A-E-L. Ashareel. Ashareel, Israel. Okay? That's the original. You know that these words are corrupted. You know it. And we have to go back. A is the first. We know that. It's the primary letter of the alphabet. It's symbol of the eye. For looking, everything follows it. and it's about Asia. The landmark is still called Asia Minor today, and that means Minor is light. Menorah, remember, Asia Minor, the light of the eye of the royal eye, the light of the royal eye. Asia, that's one way of saying it. So he receives the title that his brother Esau had, right? Why? Because his brother Esau sold out his birthright, right? And then he lost the blessing because he sold out his birthright. He wasn't worthy. He was of the earth. And so therefore, he no longer is worthy of being called Aisha. And so Yaakov receives the title of Aisha Ra'el, the light, the son of enlightenment. That's what Ra'el means, the son of enlightenment, the royal eye and the son of enlightenment. Okay, that's what the seed of light became, Yaakov. Okay, but what happened is eye was put out, not his thigh. The thigh is the code. Literally the word eye, thigh. Let me go here. Thigh is the eye. It's a code. Actually, it is the eye of return. The eye of return. Okay? That's what the code means. The word T-H-I-G-H. The G-H is return. You've been hearing me talk about it. The word the is in the primary, the T-H. And the I, as it sounds like your eye, the letter I, is the code for the eye, but it's the blind eye, you see. That's the blind. And so what they did is they hid the smallest part of your body in the biggest part of your body, and they call it the thigh, but it literally means the eye of return. And it represents, because what did he have put out? He put out the eye, showing that he was blind. His father was blind with two eyes, but Yaakov is only blind with one eye. You see? So because he represented the spirit, but he's revealing the duality within the nature. Because there's the true and there's the false. There's the one of the earth and one of the spirit. And so there's the great mystery revealed, ladies and gentlemen. One of the greatest lies in our scriptures right there, that they use three different spellings for the same word, and they do more than that for Aisha. Aisha is the royal eye. And was not Abraham royalty? Was he not the best of representing true character, like the Father, representing the Father? Abraham, the A coming out of Abraham, but it's Avraham. Okay, so you don't forget, you heard it here first, and what you do with it is your business. But I hope you can see and read it for yourself, that you got the picture, that there is an answer, because now it tells the entire story, that the Aisha, that the royalty came down through the slave. She was a virgin at first, the beautiful creation, but she became a whore. And she's now demanding blood and waging war on mankind, perpetual war, no end, drinking blood, ritually sacrificing babies. And yet out of the whore, then ultimately will come as well the virgin again. And that's what Mary of Magdala, Mary Magdalene, represented, right? The whore, but she was cured. And she was then symbolically becomes a virgin, because the church, the perfect circle of the called out, are the virgin, the ones that are pure, that have separated from the darkness and been transformed in their being, ladies and gentlemen. And so you just got the forbidden history, what they don't want you to know, but we just told you right here. And now, y'all love, if you want to call, we'll be, I'm ready for a break. The truth, ladies and gentlemen, is stranger than the fiction. People love the fiction. Hey, don't bother me with the truth. Just give me the fiction, please. I love that dogma. Eat it up. No, we want the truth, ladies and gentlemen. The truth. You can see and read it for yourself. We're going to be revealing the code. I got my my tablet coming in, thanks to a wonderful support by listener or two, and And so, yeah, we're going to be able to show you the alphabet. I'll be able to do a better presentation coming up real in about a week if I can figure out how to do that technology. And I'm overwhelmed, okay? I am overwhelmed that the Father has revealed this to me. You realize how difficult it only comes by revelation. Nobody can figure this out. Nobody. The great lie has been so wonderfully woven into our scriptures. The tricks, I mean, they control the dictionaries. They control the lexicons. Lexicon means the law of the con. Lex is Latin for law. The I is there again, the law of the con. You know, the law on the I. It's a con job. Lexicon. They control the words. They control the dictionaries. They control publishing. You think they're going to tell you the truth when the Zionist banking Khazarian Jews hate your guts? Of course not. They're here. Their job is to keep you in darkness, ladies and gentlemen. That's what their job is, to keep you in darkness. But let there be light, because there is light. Okay, Lynn. Thank you for stopping by and for your audio check today, okay? And and get your original gospel out, ladies and gentlemen. We have a read by Yah Love coming up right here on the Forbidden History, therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. And I'm your host, Ezrael. Glad you're tuned in. And welcome to our new listeners. Hope you are telling your friends about the broadcast, because you will hear things here that you will not be able to hear anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. I take no credit for it. I'm not smart enough to figure this stuff out. It comes by the divine grace of the great breath of the wind and fire, what we call the Holy Spirit, okay? The pure breath. And he breathes. He's breathing. All creation is the evidence of his breath. He has breathed from the beginning. First, he breathed into the star, and it was ignited on fire, the sun. And out of the sun came all of the solar system. It is a solar system. Okay? And the sun is the mother star. And none of the planets can have any activity without the mother star. The mother star is nursing all of those little Elohim. The great Elohim is nursing the smaller Elohim by the great light. 1 hour of light, or is it 1 minute? I can't remember now, but it's somewhere from a minute to an hour of light has so much energy in it that it can power everything on Earth for the rest of the year. That's how dynamic the light is, the atoms coming down. And so we have Yalav with us, and out of Cologne, Germany. Yalav, thank you. Welcome. Good to see you again.
Hi everyone.
Okay. And
Yeah.
they're probably getting high right now with all of this revelation going on. I hope so. That I can't think of a more higher thought than to reveal Aisha in the title of the woman. You know, what a revelation! They corrupted it, and here we got it. Can you see and read it?
Wow. Yeah. That's really very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I am still reading. I know what you were breathing, but I still have to go through it.
Yeah, and meditate upon it, of course.
Yeah.
But in simple terms, you can see that Issa is Aisha, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I always wrote it with a Y. You know, I wrote it with A-Y because A is, to me, to my ears, it's A-Y. So, yeah, that's just, I think you write that too, like with an Y at the end. in your dictionary?
Well, when we control the words, we have the ability to add additional vowels, and the Y is a vowel. But from the pure root, the prime parent root is ASHA. That makes it a perfect anagram. It reads frontwards and backwards the same. You see? Yeah. So that's the parent root, but the A sound is carrying the Y with it by its sound, but it doesn't have to be published or printed in there to get that picture, because the A represents the I, and the way we spell I is AY, because it's two aspects of light projection. Yeah, in symbols, right? Okay, so thank you for that. And so we're in chapter 80 in our original gospel, and the download, the free download, is on the website of therealpublicradio.net. And if you need to know where that is, if you're new, just text me or in the chat and say, give me the link, and I'll give you the link, okay? Because I've given it out plenty of times, and I won't do it unless I know somebody needs it here. So we're in section 15, Shamek, which is the first annual epic of the anointed ministry of Yeshua, chapter 80. And Yalav, you are on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lama, priest of Ram, who was a friend of Yeshua, when the eye was in the temple of Yaganoth, had heard of Yeshua and his mighty works in many lands, and the eye had left his home and come to Palestine in search of him. And as the eye journeyed towards Jerusalem, the eye heard of Yoganun, the herald, who was esteemed as a navigator of the living great Elohim. Lama found the herald at Salem Springs. For many days, the eye was a silent listener to the pungent truth that he taught. And the eye was present when the Pharisee told Yoganun of Yeshua and his mighty works. The eye heard the answer of the herald, heard him enlighten the title of Yeshua, whom the eye called the Moshiach. And then the eye spoke to Yoganun. He breathed, "Tell me, please, more about this Yeshua whom you call the Moshiach." And Yoganun replied, "This Yeshua is the love of the great Elohim made manifest. It is true throughout all time. Blood of the earth are living on the lower plains, the plains of greed and selfishness. For self they fight, they conquer with the sword. In every land the strong enslave and kill the weak. All all kingdoms rise by force of arms, for force is king. This Yeshua comes to overthrow this iron rule of force and seat love on the throne of power. And Yeshua fears no blood of the earth. The eye reaches out boldly in the courts of kings and everywhere that victory won by force of army are crimes, that every worthy end may be attained by gentleness and love, just as the Prince of Peace, Melchizedek, the priest of the great Elohim, won gallant victories in war without shedding a drop of blood. You ask, where are the temples of the Moshiach? The eye ministers at shrines not made with hands. His temples are the hearts of the only true anointed blood of the earth, who are prepared to see the royal Malach. The groves of nature are his temples. His forum is the world. The eye has no priests dressed up in puppet style to be admired by blood of the earth. For every seed of the moon is priest of love. When blood of the earth has purified his heart by victory of light, the eye needs no middle blood of the earth to intercede. The eye is on friendly terms with the great Olofheim, is not afraid of him, and the eye is able and is bold enough to lay his body on the altar of Yahweh. Thus, every blood of the earth is priest and is himself a living sacrifice. You need not seek the Moshiach, for when your heart is purified, the Moshiach will come and will abide with you forevermore. And then Lamar journeyed on. The eye came to Yeshua, and the eye taught beside the crossing, and Yeshua breathed. You must see and read it for yourself. The star of India, Lamar breathed. You must see and read it for yourself. The sun of perfection of light. And the eye confessed his victory of light in the Moshiach and followed him. Chapter 81. The Moshiach, the gate of the Moshiach came into the royal domain of the only true anointed pure one. The true anointed one was opened up, and Yeshua and the 6 truth seekers and Lama left the Jordan crossing and turned their faces towards Galilee. Their way lay through Samaria, and as they journeyed on, they came to Sychar, which was near the plot of ground that Bolshaf gave. Can you help me?
Yeah, where you at?
I'm verse 2.
On 80?
Plot
On 80?
81.
Okay.
Which was near the plot of ground. Shall I say that the seed of light?
Yeah,
Okay,
well, we can say, well, no, because we're now talking about the characters, so it'd be more appropriate to call him Yalkova. Yalkova. Uh-huh.
Yalkova, okay.
Gave to Volshov.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, which was near the plot of ground that Yalkova gave to Volshov when a youth.
Mm-hmm.
And Yalkova's
Now I just want to jump in on it because, in other words, let's read it the other way for a moment and see if it creates a picture. So, which was near the plot of ground that the seed of light gave to the volumes of creation. Shaf is, like the staff of creation, so the seed of light gave to the volumes of creation when a youth. So it has a metaphorical aspect to it, as if, like mythology that is telling another story behind it. So it is doing that. That's why knowing the meaning of these words is so important, right?
Yeah, so deep.
Yeah, it is deep.
Wow.
And everyone stays on the surface and can't penetrate the outer layer because they've been their words have been controlled, by the enemy forces. Right?
Yes. And Yokova's well was there, seed of the lights well was there, and Yeshua sat beside the well in silent thought, and his truth seekers went into the town to purchase bread. A woman of the town came out to fill her pitcher from the well, and Yeshua was athirst, and when the eye asked the woman for a drink, she breathed, I am a woman of Samaria, and you are a Judean. Do you not know that there is enmity between Samaritans and Judeans? They traffic not. Then why ask me the favor of a drink? And Yeshua breathed. Samaritans and Judeans are all the youth of the one great Olofheim, our Father, the great Olofheim,
and they are king. It is but prejudice born of a carnal mind that breeds this enmity and hate. While I was born a Judean, I recognized the brotherhood of life. Samaritans are just as dear to me as Judeans or Greek. And then, had you but known the enlightenment that our Father, the great Elohim, has sent to blood of the earth by me, you would have asked me for a drink, and I would gladly have given you a cup of water from the fount of life, and you would never thirst again. The woman breathed, "This well is deep, and you have naught with which to draw. How could you get the water that you spark about?" And Yeshua breathed, "The water that I spark about comes not from this well. It flows from the springs that never fail. It is true throughout all time. Everyone who drinks from the seed of light's well will thirst again." Oh, Jacob's well. "But they who drink the water that I give will never thirst again. For they themselves become a well, and from their inner parts the sparkling waters bubble up into eternal life." The woman breathed, "Sir, I would drink from that rich well of life. Give me to drink, that I may thirst no more." And Yeshua breathed, "Go, call your husband from the town, that I may share with you this living cup." And the woman breathed, "I have no husband, sir." And Yeshua answered her and breathed, "You scarcely know what husband means. You seem to be a gilded butterfly that flits from flower to flower. To you there is no sacredness in marriage ties, and you affinitize with any blood of the earth, and you have lived with 5 of them who were esteemed as husbands by your friends." The woman breathed, "Do I not spark unto a navigator and seer? Will you not condescend to tell me who you are?" And Yeshua breathed, "I need not tell you who I am, for you have read the law, the navigators, and the psalms that tell of me. I am one come to break away the wall that separates the seed of the moon. In the one true great breath of light, there is no Greek, no Jew, no Judean, and no Samaritan, no bond nor free, for all are one."
Yeah, there were never any Jews back there, were there? Yeah.
No. Sorry.
That was another one of their tricks. Go ahead.
The woman asked, "Why do you breathe that only in Jerusalem blood of the earth ought to pray, and that they should not worship in our anointed mount?" And Yeshua breathed, "What you have breathed I do not say. One place is just as sacred as another place. The hour has come when blood of the earth must worship the great Elohim within the temple of the heart. For the great Elohim is not within Jerusalem, nor in your anointed mount, and in any way that the eye is not in every heart. Our great Elohim is breath, is the true great breath. They who worship him must worship him in the breath and in truth." The woman breathed, we know that when Moshiach comes, that the eye will lead us in the ways of truth. And Yeshua breathed, you must see and read it for yourself. The Moshiach has come. The Moshiach speaks to you. Chapter 82. While Yeshua yet was talking to the woman at the well, the 6 truth seekers came from Sychar with the food. And when they saw him talking to a woman of Samaria, and when they saw the courtesan, they were amazed. Yet no one asked him why the eye sparked with her. The woman was so lost in thought and so intent on what the mother star breathed that she forgot her errand to the well. She left her pitcher and ran quickly to the town. She told the people all about the navigator she had met at I forgot Jacob's well.
Just Yalkova as well.
Yakova's well. The eye, Yaakov.
Yeah, and just to clarify, there's Keva is right there, and Yaakova is the title of Eve, who is Ave. Keva is Eve, and Yaakova is also Yaakeva. You change the vowels, but so you see, so literally the seed of the woman's creation is another way of saying the seed of the light. It's implied that it comes through, the woman. So this is just a great mystery, and these torums, these terms, these shavors are to be interpreted in their many aspects, and this is what doesn't happen anymore. It's tragic.
Yes.
Tragic.
Yes. So she told, I'm on verse 4, she told the people all about the navigator she had met at Yalkova's well. She breathed, he told me everything I ever did. And when the people would know more about the blood of the earth, the woman breathed, come out and see. And multitudes went out to Yalkova's well. And Yeshua saw them come. The eye breathed to those who followed him. You need not breathe. It is 4 months before the harvest time. You must see and read it for yourself. The harvest time is now. Lift up your eyes and look. The fields are golden with the ripened grain. It is true throughout all time. Many sowers have gone forth to sow the seeds of life. The seed has grown. The plants have strengthened in the summer sun. The grain has ripened, and the mother star calls for blood of the earth to reap. And you shall go out in the fields and reap what other blood of the earth have sown. But when the reckoning day shall come, the sowers and the reapers all together will rejoice. And Philip breathed to Yeshua, stay now your work a time and sit beneath the olive tree and eat a portion of this food. You must be faint, for you have eaten naught since early day. But Yeshua breathed, I am not faint, for I have food to eat you know not about. Then the truth seekers breathed among themselves, who could have brought him aught to eat? They did not know that the eye had power to turn the very eaters into bread. And Yeshua breathed, the mother star of the harvest never sends his reapers forth and feeds them not. My Father, who has sent me forth into the harvest field of human life, will never suffer me to want. And when the eye calls for you to serve, it is true throughout all time. The eye will give you food, will clothe and shelter you. Then, turning to the people of Samaria, the eye breathed, think not It's strange that I, a Judean, should spark to you, for I am one with you. The universal Moshiach, who was and is and evermore shall be, is manifest in me. But the Moshiach belongs to every blood of the earth. The great Elohim scatters forth his enlightenments with a lavish hand, and the eye is not more kind to one than to another one, for all the creatures of his hand. Of all the creatures of his hand.
Yeah, and hand, remember, the D is a corruption, so we could also say for all the creatures of his breath of continuance. That's what hand means, the breath of continuance.
Oh.
Just one more thing to transliterate, right, Jan?
Breath of continuance, yes?
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there because it was very poignant.
Thank you.
A very poignant moment right there.
Yeah, let me say that again. The great Elohim scatters forth his enlightenments with a lavish hand, and the eye is not more kind to one than to another one, of all the creatures of his breath of continuance. I just came up from Judah's hills, and the great Elohim's same sun was shining, and his flowers were blooming, and in the night his stars were just as bright as they are here. The great Elohim cannot cast a youth away. The Judeans, the Greek, and the Samaritans are equal in his sight. And why should blood of the earth, men and women, fret and quarrel like youth in their place? The lines that separate the seed of the man, the seed of the moon, are made of straw, and just a single breath of love would blow them all away. The people were amazed at what the stranger breathed, and many breathed. The Moshiach that was to come has surely come. And Yeshua went with them into the town and tarried certain days.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in because when he just said in 22, and because we just talked about how hand, he said, all of his creation are, his breath of continuance, right? And then right here he says, and just a single breath of the Travain love would blow them all away. So you see how that breath again is so significant because everything is the breath of his creation. And his breath controls it all. What did he do? He just had to breathe and say something and somebody was healed. He just had to breathe and the storm would stop. It's all about the breath, right?
Yeah.
It's always about, that's the beginning. And let there be light. And the breath moved upon the cosmic waters. Not the ocean, but moved upon the cosmic waters. Because that's the picture I always got when I read my scriptures growing up all those years. I thought it was talking about then the spirit moved upon on the waters. I'm thinking across the ocean. What does that mean? But no, it's the cosmic waters. And then it breathed into a star, and there was light. Let there be light. So that's why there is no very well done translation. Even Fenton is still lacking in many of these aspects, but he's still the best, no doubt. Okay, we'll do 83, Ya'alov, and then we'll pause it at 84. One more to go. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Chapter 83. In Sychar, Yeshua taught the people in the marketplace. A blood of the earth obsessed was brought to him. The wicked winds that possessed the blood of the earth was full of violence and lust, and often threw his victim to the ground. And Yeshua sparked aloud and breathed. Base wind, lose your hold upon the vitals of this blood of the earth and go back to your own. And then the wind begged that the eye might go into the body of a dog that stood nearby. But Yeshua breathed. Why harm the helpless dog? Its life is just as dear to it as mine to me. It is not yours to throw the burden of your blindness on any living thing. By your own deeds and dark thoughts, you have brought all these perils on yourself. You have hard problems to be solved, but you must solve them for yourself.
Okay, and I just want to add, because the way it's written, it looks like Yeshua's talking to a spirit that's in him, but what he's really doing, he's talking to his psychology, and he says, you have many things that you have done wrong and you need to work out. You see, so while he's saying, let my illness go into a dog, they're very superstitious back then, and so they think they're possessed by spirits or something, when it's their own psychology that is the problem. They're all screwed up, to use the French.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's talking to the man.
Yeah.
And he's still breathing. By thus obsessing blood of the earth, you make your own conditions doubly sad. Go back into your own domain. Refrain from harming anything, and by and by you will yourself be free.
Yeah, and where would that domain be but into the wind? Because we bring them in from the wind. We breathe the things that are imbalanced and improper, and then it becomes part of our psychology, and that's what has destroyed our planet, destroyed our world.
Yeah.
And we have to breathe it out to get rid of it, and we do that by creating light in Yeshua.
Let there be light, yeah. Wow, yes. The wicked wind left the man, left the blood of the earth, and went unto his own here again. The blood of the earth looked up in thankfulness and breathed, praise the great Elohim. And many of the people brought their sick, and Yeshua sparked the shavor, and they were healed. The ruler of the temple and all the priests were much disturbed when told that Yeshua from Jerusalem was reaching out in the town. They thought that the eye had come to proselyte and stir up strife among Samaritans. And so they sent an officer to bring him to the temple, that the eye might give a reason for his presence in the town. But Yeshua breathed to him who came, go back and tell the priests and the rulers of the temple that I am not engaged in crime. I come to bind up broken hearts, to heal the sick, to cast the dark spirits out of those obsessed. Tell them, their navigators sparked of me, that I come to break no law, but to fulfill the highest law. The blood of the earth returned and told the priest and ruler of the temple what Yeshua breathed. The ruler was amazed, and with the priest went to the marketplace where Yeshua was. And when the eye saw them, Yeshua breathed. It is true throughout all time, the honored blood of the earth of all Samaria. The blood of the earth ordained to lead the people in the way of right. And I am come to help and not to hinder in their work. There are two classes of seed of the moon. They who would build the human race upon the sure foundation stones of justice, truth, equality, and right. And they who destroy the anointed temple where the breath dwells, and bring their fellows down to beggary and crime. The anointed brotherhood of right must stand united in the stirring conflicts of the hour. No matter whether they be Judeans, Samaritans, Assyrians, or Greek, they must tramp down beneath their feet all strife, all discord, all jealousy and hate, and demonstrate the brotherhood of blood of the earth. And then the ruler of the temple sparked. The eye breathed. United in the cause of right we stand. Divided we will fall. And then the eye took the ruler by the hand. A love light filled their souls, and all the people were amazed.
Yes, so
Beautiful.
right. And let there be light. And we're in
Let there be light.
chapter Kaftor. Chapter is Kaf. Kaf, there's the word for cup, holding in your hand. The Tor, holding in your hand the power. That's the original for chapter is Kaftor, holding the power in your hand when you're about to read and see it for yourself. And that's 84 where we're at. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so whenever somebody say they're coughing, they're not coughing because cough is cup. And so if they go like this, then they say they're coughing. No, you're not. Coughing is putting your hand over your mouth. It's cupping your mouth. That's what coughing is. And so that's how they disassociate us from the original meaning of words. We don't get the picture. It means to cup your mouth, right? I'm cupping. Because I've got to expectorate, right? I'm expectorating, so I have to cup my mouth. Yeah. They don't teach this stuff in school. I mean, come on. We're totally brain dead too. Just like another one is like, they talk about in Switzerland, you have the Alpine, right? The Alpine?
The Alpen, yeah. The Alpen.
Alpine, okay, the Alpine. But what is Alpine? It's the Alpine. It's all evergreen trees up there, right? Alpine.
Okay.
Yeah, and we never get the picture. All these years, right? Never get the pictures. And the Alps are Alpha, and then Tibet, in the Himalayas, Tibet means the Tau. So you got the Alpha and the Tau, the A and the T between the East and the West. The A mountains are in Swaziland, and then the T at the end of the alphabet of creation is in Tibet. And so you see so it's Taubet. So the point is that they're showing us that they're engineering our world just by the way they named each of the mountains. Interestingly, A through Z or A through Tau. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we don't ever get the picture, but it's all there. And this is the thing we're having to do is to see the Shavors in a light we've never seen them before, because it's the greatest magician trick. They put us under the spell, and the spell is how they spell it instead of the way we're supposed to spell it and be set free, right?
Oh, we have a long way to go.
Long way to go.
In a short time, as you say.
Short time to get there, but we're doing it, y'all love. And so thank you so much for a wonderful read today, okay?
Thank you, and see you in the chat.
See you in the chat. Peace and love. Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, your indoctrination didn't include any of that, Martha, right? And, I knew Glenn Keeley, who went to school up in Quebec, and he first went to the French schools, and then at one point in his life he went to the English schools there in Quebec, and he said it's amazing that in the French schools they taught one version of history, then when he went to the English school they taught a different version of history. So even in their indoctrination program they don't even harmonize, and this is how people wake up. They're at the right place at the wrong time, or the wrong place at the right time, or whatever, but yeah, it's an amazing world, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. So don't forget, you're hearing it here first, and we got to hear it. We got to hear things we've never heard before. And now we are in the Acts of Thomas, the 6th act, and let me just glancing through here. It's a pretty good read, and this is on concerning the youth who had murdered the maiden. And I'll back up just a slight. I want to turn off my air conditioner so I can hear myself better. Hang on a minute. I'll just go to the song just for a second, okay? I'll be right back, and I've got to upgrade my fan. All right. All right, and happy Saturday to everybody. Hope we're doing great. I know those poor people in the Carolinas and northern Georgia and I guess for Southern Virginia are really toughing it out. So they certainly could use prayers and good wishes, ladies and gentlemen. Our world is going down in flames. You know it. And we can't stop it. You know that too. All we can do is we can pull somebody out of the fire and hope that they will know the truth and be set free and realize this is not their home. The good news is this was never our home, and we were just here to wake up so that we can get on with the program of becoming one with the great breath of the wind and fire, what we call the Holy Spirit. And Mew Mew, you're saying the pine tree was sacred because it was merging both the Father and the moting, apparently. Okay, not sure what moting is, but yeah, well, yeah, the evergreen tree is a symbol of the eternal life. That's why it's up in the high mountains in particular, because it is the green tree. That's what we're supposed to be, is the green tree, and we can be lit on fire. The green tree has all the sap in it that lights up on fire real easy. It's a softwood, but yet it's beautiful for building cabins, for making a home, and so the pine tree is very symbolic. That's right, Ninja. Prayers for America and the world. Create light. There's nothing sweeter than truth. That's why Yeshua came. He said he came to bear witness for the truth. And so that's what we're doing. We're breathing, ladies and gentlemen, breathing. And I'm always pinching myself that, that I've received so much of that light of the truth from Yeshua. I never could have imagined it. I did climb a mountain one day. I climbed a mountain. I wanted to know truth. I was more trying to figure out my own inferior complex. I saw what my parents did or didn't do for me, and was very introverted. I couldn't talk in a crowd. I didn't know anything. I was very opposite of what I am today. Now he's made me a book of knowledge, and then I went down a road that most people don't have the time or ability to go down with the deep study that I had, so I was touched and therefore, but it was not because of me, because I was worthy of it. Hardly. I'm still working on self. The thing is, the Father is unloading through somebody. That's what he does. Unloads through somebody because he loves all people and he wants all people to hear the truth and the message of light. Okay. So we're in the sixth act of the Acts of Tolma, who's known as the duplicate, because when you put the A in front of Tolma, you'll get the atom, and there's the duplicate. See, he symbolized the duplication. Each of the Malak, the royal Malak, or what we call apostles, had a special name given to him, just like Kephe, Peter. Kephe is the original, not Peter. It means the key, the fiery keys. So Kephe, and of the woman, the fiery keys of the woman. Fe is the woman. So Kephe received the fiery keys of the woman, and that's why symbolically he ended up representing the Catholic Church, because Yeshua knew that he would be used for a symbol for the occult, Vatican, and then you look behind the Pope and you see the two cross keys, because they're saying they're holding the keys of knowledge, and they are holding the keys of knowledge, but they're not going there. Very nice, y'all. Love. That's beautiful. Way to go. So we've got to read frontwards, backwards, upside down, look for the message in the story, because every aspect of every action within these scriptures is telling a subliminal story. There's a story that's deeper behind the story, ladies and gentlemen. It is so fluid. It is so beautiful. And then they killed it. They smashed it. They destroyed the scriptures. They pulled stuff out. They put stuff in. They, changed tenses, future tense for present tense, or past tense, or, male for female, plural for singular, singular for plural. They mixed it all up. I'm telling you, you're getting it. I know you're getting it here. I have a wonderful group who's been hanging out with me through this whole process here. and obviously you all were appointed and anointed as well to be here, because I don't expect really to ever have a big following. But for the few that come in, for the dozen people that continually come in, I'm honored, honored to share, and I'm motivated because I know that all of your lives are very important and precious, and you all love life and want to live forever, and we're all on that same path, So I know what I have is for all of you, and what you do with it is your business. But I know I want all of you to get the picture and to be able to see and read it for yourself and transcend. This is part of what we're doing here, um, and so we're all helping each other in the process. I need this, I'm still learning, right? I'm still learning as well, and seeing things for the first time. You're hearing it here first, and we're getting it here first. It's really, really powerful. Um, Never had a chat before whenever I broadcast, so it's totally unique, and it makes it so much more interactive and fun, and some of you are, helping to create the picture. You put in your 2 cents as well, and your two mites, and of the widow, the two mites of the widow, and you put it in, and boom, there's another revelation right there. And thank you for your hearts, Liz. Okay, you never call in, Liz. Hopefully one day you'll call in on Skype or on the phone if you can. That'd be great. I always love meeting, hearing from our friends out there for the first time. So we're on the sixth act of the Acts of Thomas, concerning the youth who had murdered the maiden. And I'm just going to back up a short paragraph because I'm trying to remember the story now. And it says, and then he had said, after when he had said this, he marked the cross upon the bread and broke it and began to distribute it. And he gave to the woman, saying, "Let this be for you for forgiveness of sins, or the closing of your eyes and eternal transgressions." And after he gave her also to all the others that had received the seal. So the youth that had murdered the maiden, I'd have to go back and read again. I guess I'm getting too old, or I got too much in my head to remember, but we'll just move on. I think we'll get the picture again here, perhaps. Now, there was a certain young blood of the earth who had worked a lawless deed, or maybe this is a new story. As he came forward and took the bread with his mouth, his two hands withered up, so that he could no longer put them to his mouth. When those who were present saw him, they informed the Malik, the royal messenger, of what had happened, and calling him, the royal Malik breathed to him, "Tell me, my youth, and do not be ashamed, what was it that you did before you came here? For the healer's bread has convicted you of a blind action. For this gift, passing into many, brings healing, especially to those who approach it in the victory of light and travail love. But you, it has withered away. And what has happened has not taken place without some action on your part. But the young blood of the earth, convicted by the healer's body of the bread, came and fell at the royal Malik's feet, and he begged him by breathing, "A dark, blind action has been performed by me, although I thought to do something good. I loved a woman who lives outside the city in an inn, and she also loved me. But when I gave ear to your sermon from you, and followed that what you did proclaim about the living great Elohim, I came forward and received the seal from you with the others. But you did breathe. Whoever will unite in the impure breaking of bread, and especially in okay, let me back up then. I was wrong. Whoever will unite with an impure union, meaning of course marriage, or just intercourse, and especially in adultery, he will not have life with the great Elohim who I proclaim. Since then I loved her greatly. I besought her and tried to persuade her to become my consort in chastity and pure conduct, which you yourself do proclaim. but she would not. Since she was unwilling, then I took a sword and I slew her. Well, that's the solution then, right? Sure. I took the sword and slew her, for I could not see her commit adultery with another. When the royal Malik heard this, he breathed, "Oh, insensate union, how do you run to shamelessness? True and perfect desire not to be checked. How did you move this blood of the earth to do this? True, perfect, and work of the serpent." There's the serpent again, the flesh ruling the spirit. How do you rage in your own nature? But the royal Malik commanded water to be brought to him in a basin. And when the water was brought, he breathed. The eye breathed. Come, waters from the living waters, the existent from the existent, and sent to us rest that was sent to us from the rest, power of soul novation that comes from the power which conquers all things and subjects them to its own will. Come and dwell in these waters, that the gift of the only true, anointed, pure great breath of light on the wind and wings of fire, the pure breath, the Holy Spirit, may be perfectly fulfilled in them. And the eye breathed to the young blood of the earth, "Go, wash your hands in these waters." And when he had washed, they were restored. And the royal Malik breathed unto him, "Do you follow in our healer and pure breather of light, the Naga healer Yeshua, that he is able to do these things?" And the eye breathed, "Though I be but the least, I follow. I can follow. But I worked this action thinking that I do something excellent. For I besought her, as I told you, but she would not listen to me, to keep herself chaste. But you, Malik, breathe to him. Come, let us go to the inn where you did commit this action, and let us see what has come to pass." And the young man went before the royal Malik on the way, and when they arrived in the inn, they found her lying there. And seeing her, the royal Malik was despondent, for she was a comely girl. And he commanded her to be brought into the middle of the inn, and they laid her on a bed and carried her out, and laid her in the middle of the court of the inn. And the royal Malik laid his hand upon her and began to breathe, "Yeshulunva, Yeshua, you who do appear to us at all time, for this is your will, that we should ever seek you, and you yourself hast given us the right to ask and to receive. And not only did you grant this, but also did you seed plant within us to create light. You who are not seen with our bodily eyes, but are never hidden at all from those of our soul, and in your form indeed are hidden, but in your walk and work are revealed to us. And by the many walks and work which we have come to know you as we are able, but you yourself have given to us your gifts without measure. Breathing, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened unto you. We create light now, since we have a reverence because of our blindness. But we ask you not for wealth, neither for gold, nor for silver, nor for great possessions, nor for any other of the things which come to those of the earth and returns again to the earth. But this is what we beg of you and implore, that in the only true anointed royal title, you raise up her who lives by your power to your illumination and the confirmation of the victory of light of those that stand by. And the eye breathed to the young blood of the earth after sealing him, "Go, take her hand and breathe unto her. I with my hands did slay you with iron, and with my hands, by the victory of light in Yeshua, I raise you up. And so the young blood of the earth went and stood beside her, breathing, I have followed in you Moshiach, Yeshua, and looking at Yudah, Toma, the royal Malach, he breathed to the one of the many, create light for me, that my healer and pure breather of light, upon whom I call, may come to my aid. And laying his hands upon her hand, he breathed, come, healer, Naga healer and pure breather of light, Yeshua, He Moshiach, Moshiach, unto her grant life, and to me the mother's eye, the earnest of your victory of light. And immediately when he drew on her hand, she sprang up and sat, and looking on the great crowd that stood by, she saw also the royal Malach standing opposite her, and leaving the bed and springing up, she fell at his feet and caught hold of his garments, breathing, I create light before you, my healer and pure breather of light. Where is that other who was with you, who did not leave me to remain in that dreadful and cruel place, but delivered me to you, breathing, take thou this woman, that she may be made perfect, and hereafter be gathered to her place in the eternal rest. But the royal Malach breathed to her, relate to us where you have been. And she replied, you who was with me, the mother's eye, to whom also I delivered, dost thou wish to give ear? And she began to breathe. A blood of the earth received me, hateful of countenance, entirely black, and his clothing exceedingly dirty. And he led me to a place in which there were many chasms, and much ill, and a hateful vapor was given off from there. And the eye made me to look down into each chasm, and I saw the first chasm, flaming fires and wheels were running here and there, and souls were being tortured by those wheels and dashed against each other, and there was a cry there, and very great lamentation. And in contrast to, I'm interjecting here, ladies and gentlemen, in contrasting this with what we are always given as, the hell and damnation story, which classically comes from Dante, I perceive this as being a reflection on what is happening on the earth, the torment and the torture, the wheel that keeps going around on earth. It never ends. The wheel keeps turning, okay? So we have to see this with new eyes. And of course, this is not the original. This is an interpretation and translation, and always subject to scrutiny. But there was none to deliver, and that blood of the earth breathed to me. These souls are kindled to you, and in the dial of reckoning, they are delivered for punishment and destruction. And then when the chastisement of each is ended, others are brought in their stead. Okay, so that's what we go through. We go through the fire, trial by fire. You see, we will all be tried by fire before we receive the victory of light. Very often, and most often, ladies and gentlemen, others are brought in their stead, and likewise, these again go into another chasm. So it's like talking about the generations that keep coming, right? The generations, there's no end. And the same game is always played. It's over and over and over. These are they who perverted the intercourse of man and woman. And when I looked, I saw the newborn infants heaped up one upon the other and struggling with one another as they lay upon them. And he answered and breathed to me, these are their children. And therefore, as they sat here for a declaration against them, and he led me to another chasm and looked in, and I saw mire and worms welling up, the serpents, and souls wallowing there, and heard great gnashing break out from thence from among them, and that this blood of the earth breathed to me. These are the souls of women who forsook their husbands, and blood of the earth who left their wives and committed adultery with others, and have been brought to this torment. Another chasm he showed me, and when I looked into it, I saw souls some hanging by their, by their arms, and by and by their feet downwards, and all the reckoning with smoke and brimstone. Concerning these, that a blood of the earth who was with me answered, these souls are hung there, and also by their tongue are slanderers, and such as utter lying and infamous words that are not ashamed. And those that are hung by the hair are the shameless, who have no modesty at all, and go about the world bareheaded. And those which are hung by their by their hands are they which took away and stole the goods of others, and never gave anything to the needy, or gave help to the afflicted. And did this because they wished to take everything, and paid no heed whatever to justice or to the law. And those who hang upside down at the feet are those who lightly and eagerly run upon the dark ways and disorderly paths, and not visiting the sick, and not escorting them to depart this life. And for this cause each several soul receives what is done by it. Leading me away, then again he showed me a cave, very dark, breathing out a great stench, and many souls looked out from there, wishing to get something of the air, but their guards did not allow them to look out. And he who was with me breathed, this is the prison, those souls which you did see, for when they have fulfilled their punishment for what they did, others later succeeded them. And some are entirely consumed and guarded by the souls that were in the dark cave, and said to the blood of the earth who had received me, give her to us that we may take her in the others until the time comes for her to be handed over for punishment. But he answered them, I do not give her to you, for I fear him who delivered me to me. For I was not commanded to leave her. I am taking her back with me until I receive an order concerning her. And he took me and led me up to another place, in which the blood of the earth were being tortured cruelly. But he who is like you took and delivered me to thee, saying, take her, for she is one of the sheep that have gone astray, and received by you. I am now before you. I beseech you, therefore, and entreat that I may not depart into those places of punishment which I saw. But the royal Malach breathed, you have given ear what this woman related, but there are not only these punishments, but also others worse than these. And so I'm jumping in again, ladies and gentlemen. It's creating a picture of how people suffer in the world, and that the natural law, the divine punishment, is reflective in what they do, and they will be punished likewise. That's referring to the natural law. Okay, again, it's not to be misconstrued with this eternal hell and damnation burning in fire, which comes from the Vatican and Babylon. Okay, and I'm going to put it right there because I know I've got limited time here, and I want to do the history of the church, and we'll pick it up here next time. Okay, in the New Testament Apocrypha, Volume 2, and there's a lot of the things Yeshua said greater works we would do than he did, and also remember the many things that he did that are very unique within our received scriptures. And so to read other things in these other scriptures, well, in the beginning, when they were trying to get people to follow, well, certainly many of the miracles or the sensational pictures that were created were in order to establish the great following that would occur. And so naturally, sensational things would unfold. Okay, that's a given. And that would be of the most extreme, just like Yeshua walking on water, just like him commanding the winds to stop, or raising the dead, or feeding 5,000. I mean, how many sensational things did he not do to get our attention through the scriptures, right? To get our attention. So naturally, the royal Malach, or who we call apostles, would have also done extreme works as well, in order to get the attention of the first initial people and then to create the stories that continue to unfold. Other stories similar to the original story, but that is obviously what he meant when greater works you would do. Well, imagine if Yeshua was standing right in front of you and telling you that, because that's what he did with them, right? He said, oh, greater works you're going to do. Oh, you like what you saw? Well, get ready, because you're going to see some greater works, okay? So it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, is it not? It is truly the great mystery, and we just have to see it clearly with the right kind of a perspective, and also recognize also the problems we have with translation, transliteration, and take it all in. But to hear these things, you know, to recognize that even though part of the translation may be, you know, imperfect or corrupted through man, nonetheless, it is still much relevant truth in there, and it's proven itself out to be on a foundational level a real act of Thomas. Okay, so that's what we need to know. Yeah, and thank you for the heads up there, Marta, as well. You know, I want to see and read everything for myself. I want, whether it's, you know, I want to read all the lost writings. I've read most of them, but there's still many that I haven't read yet. I just haven't taken the time, you know, and I like reviewing a lot of this stuff over and over that I do absolutely love, and there's so much of it. And thank you, Liz, as well. Glad you're all seeing and reading it for yourself, getting the pictures, and you know, I know you keep coming back for more, so you are getting it, and you highly value it. I realize that, and this is what my life is about. I know this is the most important stuff there is. Okay, whether anybody goes on the journey, you know, that's their business. I want all of my friends, all the people that I know, Miu, thank you, you know, to go there. So anyway, we're in the history of the church. We got a short one here, and it's and then we'll call it a day. It's Menander, the impostor, in the history of the church by Eusebius. We plowed through the field here. I can't get over it. We're on page 135, and boy, the clock is ticking. And thank you, Martha, as well. Okay, so Menander, the impostor. Let us now return to the course of our stories. Simon the Magus, who was succeeded, that would be Shimon the Magi. You know, he was claiming to be a wise man, so to speak. Now, Simon the Magus was succeeded by Menander, the second tool of the devil, or the adversaries, not devil, but adversaries' ingenuity. The adversary is man. He's always the adversary, not some invisible creature that flies through the air and goes bump in the night. Okay? Ingenuity. So a second tool of the adversary's ingenuity, that's the secret societies, that's the government, that's the priesthood. Their ingenuity, as bad as his predecessor, as he showed by his conduct. He too was a Samaritan, a Shamarian, and having risen to the same heights of imposture as his master, he poured out a stream of still more marvelous tales. He actually claimed to be the Savior sent down from somewhere above, from the sun above, actually, not somewhere. They didn't want to put it in here, you see. It's not somewhere, it's from the sun above. This is where the editing comes in. You know, they have to do that because they don't want us to get the picture that the sun is the great logo, the symbol of everything, okay? Of everything that exists. That's the great atom, the garden of the atom, the ganun, okay? The gun, the big gun at high noon. That's ganun. Okay, from the sun above to save mankind from the invisible ages. And taught. And I just want to read this footnote. This is interesting on eons, which I say ages. Let's see what it says. In the Gnostic, well, I think it's from the Greek, so we don't. Why would you use Gnostic? From the Greek tongue, were major supernatural powers. Yeah. Okay. So this guy's bought into the superstitions as well. It's not even worth reading it because he's just the translator's just as lost as the deception that Eusebius is painting for us here in the fact that he doesn't even he's editing this work. He's under the control of Constantine, go figure, right? The government. He stole the library from Caesarea. So that's why we have to be able to read between the lines in this, and we have to become expert in all these things in order to be able to properly decipher where the problems are, because there's a lot of truth in here, but yet we've still got non-truth, and that's always going on. And so that's why we have to become an authority in our own right. And who can we become authority by? The great authority, the great Elohim. Okay, so and he troubled mankind from the invisible ages and taught, plowed and planted that there was no way by which man could get there, the better even of the royal Malach who made the world. The Elohim who made the world, unless he had first been taken through the magical skills transmuted by himself and the baptism which he bestowed. So it's sort of like a version of Freemasonry that we just read about here. That's what he's talking about. The control of knowledge, and then his magical skills, right? Transmuted by himself. Okay. So you would not be saved unless you go through those rituals that he's now presenting. Those who were admitted into this baptism would share in everlasting immortality and this present world, no longer subject to death, but destined to continue here forever, ageless and immortal. Not here, of course, but maybe that's what they're talking about, like the Jehovah's Witnesses. They think the earth is going to be transformed, and somehow the earth is, the paradise, but it's not. The physical realm is the illusion. All this is clearly stated in the writings of Irenaeus. Justin as well follows up his comments on Shimon with an account of his successor. Another Shamarian called Menander from the village of Capratea became a disciple, a truth seeker of Shimon, and like him was driven mad by the dark natures, the darkness. And it is known that he arrived in Antioch and deluded many by magical trickery. He even persuaded his followers that they would not die. And there are still some who are, on the strength of his assertions, maintain this conviction. It is certainly characteristic of the adversaries, that's man, the adversary's ingenuity to make use of such imposters. Yeah, like Benny Hinn. Oh, yeah. Even Pat Robertson, given the lion paw on Time Magazine, Illuminati. Absolutely, the great imposters. All likable people in some regard. Who couldn't like Pat Robertson? But he's Illuminati, okay? Nazis are Nazis, no matter how you look at them. 700 Club, well, 700 is 007. That was the first secret agent spy in America under the Illuminati. And Club backwards is Bull. There's your papal bull. And 007, okay? Full of bull. So it was certainly characteristic of the adversary's ingenuity to make use of such impostors who usurped the royal title of Christian, in his determination to misrepresent the interest of magic in the great mystery of religion. Magic here may imply wisdom, because it's a bad translation. It's the magi. The magi is at the center of knowledge. That's what it means, of the great mystery. That's what we're talking about. The center of knowledge, right? Isn't that what we're talking about here? You see, but he mistranslated it as magic. It's the magi, in the great mystery of religion, and to make a mockery of the true church's teachings on the immortality of the soul, creating a counterfeit, right? That's what they do. That's Lucifer clothed with the light, and of the resurrection of the dead. But those who have entitled these men saviors have fallen from their true hope. And when we pick it up next time, we will be the Ebonite sect, the heretics, the heresies of Cerinthius and Nicholas. Okay, and so you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And we have so many reads to do, and there virtually is no end, But so we'll keep it up until they pull the plug on us. That's all we can do, right? But to have this under our skull cap and to See rid of herself is all we can do. And then Yeshua takes over. He does the rest. And he is breathing. He is the great breath of the wind and fire, as represented by the great logo, the Son of Light, the seed of the sun, the invisible ultraviolet light, manifested in the yellow light. That's Yah Love. There's yellow is Yah Love. Yah Love, thank you so much for your read today. How appropriate. You've got a beautiful title. And Andrea, glad you're tuned in. Thank you so much. Hope you call in one day too. Love to hear from all of our listeners. You know, the truth is stranger than fiction. And the fiction's pretty good, isn't it? I'm telling you, the fiction, boy, do they got us going down on the show. Thank you, Martha, for being there as well, for your comments. And but nonetheless, we have to see and read things for yourself. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Ninja, thank you as well for being there. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know the future, you just need to look for the forbidden history right here. It's what they didn't want you to know, and you know it, that we tell right here. I'm Desert Owl, thanking you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, Liz, as well. Okay, and do tell your friends about the broadcast. Somebody really does want to know the truth, you know. Most people, they just want that fiction. Please give me that fiction. I can't handle the truth, but we've got to see things with new eyes and see that greater light. The great light, the only light that shines in the darkness. Yeshua He Moshe Ke. The great logo, the perfect circle, number 7, into the 8th, the day of return, on the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. Be safe out there. Thank you, Mew Mew. Ninja, I think you're going to call, you said, right? I'll be standing by. And tomorrow morning we'll be back at it, and then we're going to do a Sunday night special, 9 p.m. Eastern Time every Sunday. Brought to you by a wonderful supporter who we want to give a thank you to.